We'll come into this. The Senzo Meyiwa murder trial continues today in the North Gauteng High Court. The state's third witness, Tumelo Madlala, is back for cross-examination. Just yesterday, the defense accused him of being drunk on the day that the soccer star, Senzo Meyiwa, was killed. But eNCA reporter Silindenlo Masikane has more for us, as she's been tracking, of course, those developments and others for us throughout the day yesterday. Slee, good morning to you, and thanks for this update. Quite important because we understand that Titi Tobane obviously had a cross-examination yesterday with Tumelo Madlala. I mean, what did we get there? What do we see?
Well, essentially, we saw Titi Tobane, rather, for accused 124, wrapping up his cross-examination of Tumelo Madlala. And towards the end, he was essentially putting on record the versions of his clients. He represents, of course, 4 of the accused, and at least 3 of them were telling the court that they were nowhere near forceless when Senzo Meyiwa was murdered. Bongani Ntanzi, who's accused number 2, told the court that, in fact, he was at work in Rustenburg when he was arrested, and that he also knows nothing about what happened on that fateful evening. But Tumelo Madlala insisting that Bongani Ntanzi, certainly even years from now, he would once more point him out in a doc identification to say that he remembers him as being at least one of 2 intruders who came into the home on that fateful evening. And towards the end, we saw what looked like, a heated exchange, really, between Titi Tobane as well as Judge Chifiwa Maumela, because the judge was finding issue with his line of questioning around Tumelo Madlala's movements. Essentially, Titi Tobane is accusing Madlala of having a selective memory, especially when it comes to time. He doesn't seemingly want to, pinpoint exactly, for example, what time he left Durban to come to Johannesburg. He seems to say he doesn't remember details pertaining to time in particular. And Tobane had requested that he takes out his phone and tells us exactly what time he left for court. And that is when Judge Maumela then stopped him to say that he's putting the safety and security of the witness at risk by wanting him to indicate exactly what time he leaves his place of residence to come to the courthouse. And that resulted in a heated exchange between the 2. Let's take a listen.
If the court allows me to finish.
No, I'm not allowing you to repeat. I'm saying it can.
No, I'm not repeating, Your Lordship.
That question is not going to answer.
No, I'm not saying he must answer the question. I'm replying to the objection. For whether he answers the question is something else. The court will make a ruling. Let me finish my submission to the state.
No need to finish it. Go to another question.
The Lordship is detecting to me now.
Yes.
I can't. It's not procedural for the court for me. I want to reply.
I am saying go to another question.
No, I'm not going to another question. I'm not asking him to answer the question.
If you don't have another question, sit down.
No. You
are not going to answer.
Your Lordship, you cannot tell me to sit down. Your Lordship.
If you don't have another question.
Who said that I don't have another question?
Yeah. Then ask another question.
Your Lordship. Your Lordship.
Don't do that to me. What are you doing to me?
I'm saying, Your Lordship, I'm trying to answer to the. I want to reply.
Why must you repeat it?
Yes, I have a reason why.
What conduct is that?
I'm saying, Your Lordship, I want to reply.
Why
May the court allow me to reply?
Yeah.
Thank you, Your Lordship. I'm not asking the question. I'm replying to the state.
Yes, I'm saying don't reply. I'm saying go to another question.
Maybe my sergeant I request adjournment.
And he also advocates Zandile Mshololo had an opportunity to cross-examine Tumelo Madlala. What have we heard from that cross-examination?
Well, in earnest, Advocate Zandile Mshololo, for accused number 5, has begun her cross-examination. She began just after lunch yesterday, and she is quite methodical in terms of her line of questioning, starting with Tumelo Madlala's qualifications, trying to establish what she said his level of reasoning. She also then went on to essentially accuse Tumelo Madlala and those who were in the house of being drunk when the alleged intruders just came in, and so she is questioning the dark identification of Bongani Ntanzi, but also she was able to establish for Madlala that he had never seen her client, that is accused number 5, Fisokuhle Ntuli, before court. He says that before seeing him inside the courtroom, he's actually never laid eyes on him. So she's established essentially that Tumelo Madlala, or her client rather, was not in the least one of the 2 alleged intruders who apparently made their way into the Forceller's house. But she says that the dark identification as well of accused number 2 is questionable because none of those who were in the house that evening were actually sober. But she also, in fact, put it to Madlala, showing him a photo of some of the evidence that was found in terms of alcohol cans, that it does look as though evidence was certainly removed because Madlala actually admitted that the 2 cans which were photographed was certainly not a reflection of the amount of alcohol that was drunk on that particular day. So let's take a listen to the accusation around the sobriety as well as the evidence, the allegations of course, evidence being removed from the crime scene. Let's take a listen.
We're just enjoying yourself, including yourself. You couldn't count how many cans of liquor you consumed because you were just enjoying.
Bheka ke benizijabulisa ngisho nawe siqu sakho azange ukwazi ukuthi ubale ukuthi uphuza amakane ayingakho utshwala ukuthi benijabulisa. Ngizuse kahle.
Yeah, yebo besijabulisa njengoba besengiphuza mhlambe 3 or 4, not more than 4. This is why ngisho kanje.
Yes, we enjoy myself. Hence I said that I consumed 3 or 4, not more than 4 cans.
But you did not count.
Mara zangu count kunjani?
Yes, ngenzange count.
Okay.
That's correct. I did not count.
Can be more because you did not count.
Ngenza ukuthi ke lawa phuzile adlula lenani olushilo ngokuthi azange kuphela count. No, we're not above.
And at the time when the incident took place in this matter, when you identified the intruder, you were all drunk inside the house.
Ngesikhathi kwenzeka lesehlakala ngesikhathi ke ukwazi ukuthi u-identify yena leyo umuntu oyewangena endlini ngesilungu bathi intruder, beniphuzile nonke ngaphakathi endlini.
Besiphuzile but hayi ukuthi besidakiwe.
Yes, we consumed alcohol, but it doesn't mean that we were drunk.
We can't deny that.
Ngiyakuphikisa lapho.
Ngiyakuphikisa because ngangibona ezinye izinto ezenzayo ube ngidaywa ngengikubone ukuthi.
I'll deny that because I could see other things that transpired. If I was that drunk, I could not have seen them.
So, Slee, what can we expect today in court?
Well, today we are expecting cross-examination to continue. Whether Advocate Mshololo will wrap up still remains to be seen, but it does seem as though perhaps towards the end of the week we may see a new witness take to the stand. But for now, cross-examination of Madlala continues.
All right, we'll leave it there, colleague, and thank you so much for this update. We'll be sure to catch up with eNCA Silindenlo Masikane, of course, throughout the day as cross-examination does continue out, of course, in court. This in the Senzo Meyiwa trial, Tumelo Madlala, of course, taking the stand.